So today I want to talk to you about social anxiety and how it is real and how it can cause huge negative impact on someone who struggles with it. So if this is relating to you, keep on watching, keep on listening, hopefully find it useful. Welcome back to consecutive day 1574 of a diary of a Runpreneur. If you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, then do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always, and let's get started. So, consecutive day 1574 of a diary of a Runpreneur. And today's topic for discussion is all about social anxiety and how it is genuinely real. What can we do about it? So first and foremost, if you're listening to my vlogs for a period now or watching them, you'd understand that I do suffer with ADHD. Those all thrive with ADHD, however you want to look at it. But anyway, for those who don't know what it is, it's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and it affects your brain in so many different ways. And I'm not going to tell you all about that today because it's a different topic altogether. But social anxiety is something that I do genuinely struggle with. It can be a knock-on effect of ADHD, but what is it? Well, it's anxiety of social situations. So fear, discomfort, concern, all these things are words that are associated with the term anxiety. Social, being around people, whether they're close friends, distant friends, people who you feel intimidated by. It could be a whole host of examples. And social anxiety is real. It can be fear of conversing, fear of conversation, fear of those awkward silent moments where you can't keep the conversation flowing naturally, and a whole host of other things. And bizarrely, through entrepreneurship, because I'm generally within a space that I'm comfortable within and I feel somewhat knowledgeable on, I don't really struggle with it too much. But with new people I'm not completely comfortable with, or I'm not trusting of that relationship enough yet, I still feel incredibly anxious when it comes to talking to people new or trying to overcome different situations that I'm not familiar with. With familiarity comes confidence and comes competence, I suppose. Just got another dog here to kind of get past, so just bear with me a second. Hopefully I don't get attacked too bad when I get past these. 1 second. Those guys. Right, I made it past them. Hopefully they're not chasing me down as we speak. But anyway, so what are the impacts of social anxiety? Well, I've had a couple of situations this past week where it's really kind of come to the front, that to the extent that I've had to kind of work out how I'm going to deal with this moving forward. So the first one is I was in a snooker club with my best friend, someone I've known for many years that I'm incredibly comfortable with. He's like a brother to me from another mother. And we built a relationship with a former snooker world champion who trains there, Neil Robertson. He's originally from Australia, but he lives in Cambridge now. And we see him regularly when we go for a game of snooker. And we've built a bit of rapport with him. But for whatever reason, he came over to talk to us this week. And okay, it was quite warm in the snooker club. More people had come in. And yeah, it was a little bit hotter than usual. But all of a sudden, I started perspiring, uncomfortably so. It was almost beading off of my forehead. And I was wearing a t-shirt, and you're starting to see a sweat patch on your t-shirt. It was incredibly embarrassing, but it was incredibly hot in there, which probably has something to do with it. But looking into social anxiety in more detail, your overactive sweat glands is something that is attributed to social anxiety. And it happened again during an interview, an online interview that I had when a new member of the team, who would be the would be the line manager for the interviewee who we were interviewing, again, hadn't done an interview with this individual before, and I had the same experience to the extent that I had to vacate the interview, making the excuse that I just needed to grab a glass of water to cool down for a couple of minutes, and then I continued fine. And it was in that moment that I realised the solution, to me anyway. Like, clearly I have overactive sweat glands in situations of social anxiety, and in the first one with Neil Robertson, I just had to grind it out and just wipe my brow in the most unobvious way. But it was fairly obvious because I was getting a sweat patch on my t-shirt that was very obvious because the colour of it was kind of lilac, and it's a colour that, you know, any form of liquid on that t-shirt shows up very easily. So that was a little bit really uncomfortable, and I always had to play it down with my best mate because I was even uncomfortable talking to it about him. Whether he noticed or whether Neil noticed or not, who knows? I will find out when I speak to my best mate over the next week. But the second one I was in control. I felt it happening, so ultimately I took myself out of the situation, cooled myself down, got a glass of water, and then we continued without issue. Now fortunately there are other people on the interviewing panel with me that I could pass over to, so I created an environment that enabled me that flexibility. I didn't have it in the real interaction, but what I did understand is that sometimes you just need to take a minute. So I could have quite easily said, oh, excuse me, I'm going to pop to the gents or whatever, and I could have taken a minute just to cool myself down and gathered my thoughts, because I had my best friend there who was chatting quite happily. But also the other thing is, it can be breath work can also make a significant difference to social anxiety and, you know, overactive sweating glands. So yeah, just taking a moment to catching my breath is another way of doing it. So I suppose the moral to the story is this is something that's real, something that has affected me very recently, social anxiety that is, and it's resulted in me being overly uncomfortable from a perspiration perspective. Now fortunately I've always been kind of lucky, I suppose, that my perspiration doesn't smell. It just looks highly uncomfortable, so I don't have the added impact of kind of body odour, which a lot of people probably do struggle with. But nonetheless, it can create an incredible uncomfortable situation, and sometimes temperature has a massive impact. Other times it can be just geared around social anxiety. So the learnings from my diary for this are: take a beat, take a breathe, take a moment to breathe, to try and get things under control, because it is a form of panic. Take a moment out of the environment if you can. But ultimately, by understanding it now, I'm not going to panic as much. When you don't know what's causing it, or you're pretty aware of what's causing it, but you don't know how to deal with it, I think that creates more issues. But having even a remote understanding of what's happening and why, and having some contingencies for how to deal with it, I think is something that can certainly help avoid that becoming a major issue in future encounters with different people. So not sure if that's been helpful or not. It certainly helped me talking it through, so thank you for that. But ultimately, any questions or comments, drop me a line. I'll respond to everyone, hopefully in a worthwhile way. But that's it for me. Questions or comments, yeah, like I say, I'll respond to everyone. Do remember though, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, a distance of lap for the world barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people I get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always. Stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you again tomorrow.